Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 20 of season 12. This is the 1000th morning in a row of this podcast. And my thoughts today are going to be circled around 1,000 mornings of ... So, my first thought is for the champions. I appreciate so many people here who have been encouraged. Maybe they're mostly the regulars in listener land, who have been faithful in the days and faithful over the effort. And many of those people have thought of me as I think of you and have encouraged me as I care for the people in this podcast. And to you people, I call you my champions. I owe you a debt of gratitude. I'm also thinking this morning of the considerers. And those people can be possibly mature, possibly immature, possibly believers, possibly not believers. It's anyone who's given a moment of consideration, even just one time, about the thoughts, in their thoughts, about the actions and the truths and the claims of Jesus. That is that for a person that's made a room in their head, I salute you. Good start. But to the person who has made room in their hearts, they've made space for God, they're the real champions that I want to highlight today. So anybody who's done this a single time, you're kind of my heroes today. And I know that there are people outside the family of God who are looking over the fence at Christianity, and they're considering whether that's for them. And they're right now living at the pointy end of conviction, hopefully Christian conviction. In a sense, you're my favorite listeners. Anyone who grabs or wrestles with these spiritual snacks and makes a little bit of room for God, I just want to honor you today. Next thought is I was thinking about my soul. So I've transported my soul for these 1,000 days to various places, and the podcast has been a marker of that, because sometimes I'm on an airplane and sometimes I've been actually in different continents or whatever. But here's the point: is it's the same soul that I'm bringing to all these places for the last 1,000 days. It's the same soul that I'm going to bring to eternity. And I know that 2 Corinthians 4:16 says, "So we do not lose heart, though our outer self is wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day." And I think the 1,000 days of the podcast has kind of illustrated that to me. First of all, the podcast was started in tragedy. It started on the first day of COVID. It was kind of birthed in ugliness, and it was purposed as making our inner self beautiful while our old self wasted away. So have I been to some funerals over the last 1,000 days? The answer is, of course, yes. And I realize that there is a fight for the well-being of our souls, your soul, my soul, every day. We have a roaring lion, as it says in 1 Peter 5, prowling around, seeking to devour us. But that's okay, because we have the Lion of Judah on the other side of the battle, and I'm going with him. And I know that we wrestle against rulers and principalities and cosmic powers and spiritual forces of evil, as it says in Ephesians chapter 6. And this has been 1,000 mornings of battle. So occasionally, people's lives are characterized by what they do in a moment. So that is like a Medal of Honor winner. His whole life is characterized by the one moment that they do their courageous thing. Or maybe somebody who makes a superb Super Bowl catch. That is unusual, though. Most people's lives, usually you are known for the aggregate of your habits, and specifically morning habits. So my question and challenge is, what are your next 1,000 mornings going to be known for? How are you going to anchor your day? How are you going to anchor your soul? How are you going to make your inner self more beautiful for the day that we take our souls to heaven? I think of course, I think about the Lord, and the key verse is from Lamentations 3:22. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. So this podcast is obviously nothing without the Lord. And I think of the ridiculousness of this scenario of, let's say the person that's listening decides to become a believer next Tuesday, but the Lord decides to take that day off, and the believer or potential believer knocks on God's door, and there's a little sign on the door that says, gone on vacation. You can't access me. You can't join me. You can't have faith in me today. My point is that's ridiculous. The faithfulness of the Lord is something that we all rely on day by day. So I didn't mean to start a podcast, and probably some of you say, yeah, it really shows. So I'm thinking about the future here. What about that we've gone through 12 books, or working on the 12 books. That's what the seasons are the different books, what they've turned out to be. There's 26 in the New Testament. So with regards to the future, I'll probably keep going here. All right, so these are my challenging questions for today. Number one, what are your mornings known for? Because I think that's eventually going to be what your life is going to be known for, so just keep that in mind. But what are your mornings known for? Secondly is, where might you want your soul to be 1,000 days from now? So you say, whoa, that's too, that's too big. Okay, let's reduce it then. Then what are you considering today? Just today. What is your spiritual thought? What is your spiritual snack? What is the spiritual thought that you pin onto your clothing and carry around with you today? So today I am grateful for the people who have demonstrated encouragement to me, and I'm especially honoring on this 1,000th day. I'm honoring the people who are considering the Lord's activity and his revelation and his exposure today. And as for me, as it depends on me, with the Lord's will, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for listening.